My freeloading brother accused me of mooching off our parents while he stays with them rent-free. He ended up packing his own bags instead. I moved back in with my parents at 26 to save for a down payment on a house. I was paying them $800 a month for my old room, which was way below market rent, but still helped them out. I did the grocery shopping every week, cooked dinner 3 times a week, and handled all the yard work. Then my younger brother Ryan moved back home after his lease ended. He said he was between apartments and just needed a month or two. My parents were happy to have both their kids home. The first week was fine. Ryan would join us for dinner, we'd watch TV together, and it felt like old times. Then he started making comments about how I'd been there so long, and asking my parents if they were sure they weren't being too generous with my rent. Act 2. After that, Ryan started a full campaign to make me look bad. He told my parents I was taking advantage of their kindness, and that I should be paying market rate if I was going to stay so long. My mom actually sat me down and suggested I increase my rent to $1,200. I agreed because I was still saving money and didn't want conflict. That should have been the end of it, but Ryan was just getting started. He'd use my shampoo, my laundry detergent, even my leftovers in the fridge. When I said something, he told my parents I was being territorial and unwelcoming. He said I was making him feel like a guest in his own childhood home. My parents actually asked me to be more understanding since Ryan was going through a hard time. The worst part was when I'd buy specific groceries for meals I was planning to cook. I'd come home and Ryan had used them for himself. One time I bought ingredients for this specific recipe, and Ryan made himself something random with half of them. When I got annoyed, he told my parents I was being petty about food. My dad said I needed to remember it was a family household and we should share. But Ryan wasn't contributing anything. He wasn't paying rent. He wasn't buying groceries. He was just eating our food and using our stuff while complaining that I was the problem. And things got worse. I started noticing messes that weren't mine. Dishes I didn't use would appear in the sink right before my parents got home from work. My bathroom would be trashed with the door open so my parents could see it. Ryan was staging this stuff to make me look like a slob. When I confronted him, he acted confused and suggested maybe I was stressed from work and forgetting I'd made the messes. The final straw was when my aunt called my mom asking if I was okay financially. Ryan had told extended family that I was living rent-free and mooching off our parents, that I was nowhere close to affording a house and was probably never moving out. My parents didn't correct him because they didn't realize he was lying about the rent situation. My aunt literally asked my mom if they needed to stage an intervention to get me out of the house. That's when I decided Ryan needed a reality check. I started keeping my receipts, every grocery run, every rent check, every household item I bought. I kept a running list in my phone with dates and amounts. Then I started testing Ryan. I'd text him asking if he'd seen my stuff, and he'd respond with paragraphs about how I needed to stop being so uptight about material things. I asked him when he was planning to start contributing to bills, and he said he didn't think it was necessary since he was barely there. I saved everything. One Saturday, my parents were in the kitchen, and Ryan was in the living room on a call with his friend. I was in the hallway between them, and I could hear everything. Ryan was literally bragging about his plan. He told his friend he was trying to get me to move out so he could have my room because it was bigger and had the better closet. He said once I was gone, he could stay there paying nothing for as long as he wanted because our parents would be too guilty to charge him rent. I pulled out my phone and recorded the last part through the doorway. Then I walked into the kitchen and asked my mom if she could hear Ryan's conversation. She walked toward the living room just as Ryan said he just needed to make me look bad enough that they'd force me out. After that, I got aggressive with questions. Ryan bought new shoes. I asked him in front of Dad how much they cost and if he was ready to start paying rent since he clearly had extra money. Ryan bought takeout. I asked Mom if Ryan was contributing to the grocery fund since he kept eating our food. Every single purchase Ryan made, I pointed out. Not in a mean way, just cheerful questions about when he'd start chipping in like I did. Ryan started getting defensive, which made my parents notice. Dad asked Ryan directly how much he was contributing to the household. Ryan said he was helping out. Dad asked how. Ryan couldn't answer. Mom asked if Ryan had plans to pay rent. Ryan said he thought families should help each other out. I pulled up my banking app and showed them my monthly $1,200 transfers. Ryan tried to say that was different because I'd been there longer. My parents called family meeting 2 days later. They'd been tracking expenses and realized Ryan had been there 4 months without contributing anything. They told Ryan he needed to either start paying $1,000 a month or find another place within 30 days. Ryan tried to argue that they were playing favorites. Dad showed him the recording I'd given them of Ryan's phone call. Ryan moved out within 2 weeks. I stayed another 4 months, saved exactly what I needed, and bought my house. My parents gave me $10,000 toward the down payment and helped me move.